You know what we are discussing?
No, I do not.
How can you? You what?
Pali. That's all I know.
You think we are discussing Pali? But what specific discourse?
It says the Four Noble Truths.
Four Noble Truth discourse?
I think so.
No. Of course, three of you might not know. We are discussing the discourse called Right Understanding. Right Understanding. In Majjhima Nikaya, Sutta number 9. It is called SammaDitthi Sutta. You know where the word SammaDitthi appears? You don't know. Lee's friend also does not know.
Yes, I do not know.
Hmm?
I do not know.
Very good. And I think everybody else knows. I just want to check Margaret's knowledge.
Where does SammaDitthi appear?
Where SammaDitthi
In the
appears.
Noble Eightfold Path.
Right. Very good. Noble Eightfold Path. Number 1 is SammaDitthi. Right understanding. We discussed, we had 2 sessions already. This is the 3rd session of the right understanding. Right, that discourse was delivered by Venerable Sariputta. Sariputta is one of the 2 chief disciples of the Buddha, and also the most intelligent or wisest monk, Sariputta. And when Buddha gave a short, brief discourse, it was Sariputta who expanded and give detailed explanation to the brief discourse that Buddha delivered. Today my voice is not very good. Anyway, when Venerable Sariputta mentioned 2 aspects of the right understanding, first aspect of right understanding is what? Those who were in the class? First 2 parts.
I want to think of what?
First 2 parts.
You mean the first 2 parts was kusala and akusala?
That's number 1.
Oh, the thing, ahara,
Ahar, food.
food, nutriment.
So, this discourse has 16 sections. 16 sections. I plan to have 16 weeks to discuss this discourse. We spent 2 weeks already. Number 1, Venerable Sariputta said, understanding the wholesome and the unwholesome and their roots. And he explained what the wholesomes are, what the whole unwholesomes are. Then second section he said, understanding nutriments, arising of nutriments, disappearance of nutriments, and the way of disappearance of nutriments. That means Four Noble Truths. From that section onward till the end of the discourse, he explained right understanding in terms of dependent origination and Four Noble Truths. Four Noble Truth and dependent origination combined together. We get 16 because dependent origination has 12 aspects. In addition to that, he added the wholesome and unwholesome, their roots, the food, and Four Noble Truths. That is the one we are going to discuss today. So, 12, 3, 15. The last one is underlying tendencies or influxes. Asava. This is how this discourse has 16 sections. Today, when he explained one section, at the end of the section, bhikkhus prompted him to go to the next section. They said, Venerable Sariputta, your explanation good, we are very happy. Is there any other way of explaining right understanding? He said, yes, there is another way. This is how they pushed him, to go forward, explaining one by one. So today, second time when he said, in the second section, at the end of second section, the other monks asked him, Venerable Sariputta, very good. They delighted and then said, is there any other way of explaining right understanding? He said, yes. That is, this is the most important discourse of all the discourses of the Buddha. Why? In this discourse, the most important two teachings combined together. What are the most important two teachings of the Buddha? Four Noble Truths and dependent origination. You cannot talk about the Buddha's teaching without these two. Four Noble Truths and the dependent origination. Venerable Sariputta was so smart that he combined these two together. The two most important discourses joined together. So when these monks asked him, is there any other way of understanding, explaining right understanding? He said, yes. Then he said, when a noble disciple understands suffering, the origin of suffering, cessation of suffering, and the way leading to the cessation of suffering. These four sentences represent entire teachings of the Buddha. It's called Four Noble Truths. We discussed this earlier, you were not here, when we had another discussion. We discussed these four. You remember what?
So in the Satipatthana Sutta, Dhammanupassana has...
Very good. Mahasatipatthana Sutta. Mahasatipatthana Sutta. We discussed this earlier, before we started this. So this is the second time we are discussing the Four Noble Truths. You will hear, if I live for another 100 years, 100 times 365 days, I will tell the Four Noble Truths. Why is that? Because that is the core teachings of the Buddha. No matter how many times we repeat, we still have something to learn from this core teaching. Why? Because this is the discourse that directly related to our body and mind, directly related to our entire existence. Without that, how can we talk about Buddhism? So the Buddha, as I said to you this morning, Buddha repeated these Four Noble Truths 84,000 times. That is why we call there are 84,000 aspects of the Dhamma. Okay? Because every sermon, directly or indirectly, in details or in brief, he mentioned the Four Noble Truths. There may be one word that when you decompress the word, you can see Four Noble Truths in that word. Okay? So Venerable Sariputta says, understanding these Four Noble Truths is another way of understanding. Then he explained in some details, not in great detail, what is suffering? Friends, we must very, very seriously think whether this word is true or not, without jumping to conclusion that this is very pessimistic, very gloomy, ugly, unpalatable, something. Without that kind of prejudice, that kind of bias, we must stop and look at this word and ask ourselves, is it true that there is suffering? We may use many euphemistic terms and still we say, we talk about suffering. For instance, people don't like to say so and so died. We say pass away. Because died is very bad word. Nobody like to hear that. Dissatisfaction. If suffering is too harsh, nobody like to hear. Dissatisfaction. Disappointment. Dislike. I hate this food. Like that we use many nuances. Very polite. very, polished words. Because in this civilized, cultured world, who likes to talk about death, killing? Only in the newspapers and media. In our life, this does not happen. Without that kind of preconceived notion, we must ask ourselves, is this true or not? Suffering exists. So Venerable Sariputta goes into detail, as we see in Mahasatipatthana Sutta. There is another discourse where the Four Noble Truths explained this way. I just want to test your knowledge of suttas. You read Majjhima Nikaya? You read Majjhima Nikaya?
Yes.
Samyutta Nikaya? In Majjhima Nikaya, there is a discourse called, in addition to this, in addition to Satipatthana, there is another discourse where Four Noble Truths explained in detail. What is that? Satya Vibhanga Sutra. Satya means truth, Vibhanga means analyze. Analyzing the Four Noble Truths. The entire sutta is explaining the Four Noble Truths.
Bhante, what about the Dhammacakkappavattana is also Four Noble Truths, right?
You are right. Dhammacakkappavattana is not in Majjhima Nikaya.
Oh, I see.
Dhammacakka is in Samyutta Nikaya. Samyutta Nikaya. So, originally, Four Noble Truths explained in Dhammacakka in the first discourse of the Buddha. And from that time he repeated it many times. So, Venerable Sariputta said, what is suffering? We explained this, I think in the last discourse also, when we discussed Satipatthana, we discussed these things. It doesn't matter how many times we discuss the same thing. Why? Because this is the thing that must drive into our deep awareness and cut a groove in the brain so that we will never forget. In order to cut that groove, we repeat it many times. Because this very thing we forget. We forget. What is suffering? I think you have given discourses on this subject many times, right? You have given discourses. No? Bhante Dhamma? You have given discourses on suffering?
Yeah, probably in the past.
Yeah. Probably in the past when you were younger. Now you don't give that discourse. Your discourse is equanimity. Okay, anyway, birth is suffering. Aging is suffering. Sickness is suffering. Death is suffering. Sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair are suffering. I mentioned birth brings the whole bag of suffering. the birth brings. Right? All the problems that we have, every problem is because we are born. If we are not born, we have no problem. If Bhante ji is not born, for him, no aging, getting sick and weak, pain, sorrow, lamentation, grief, and even he is not there to experience them. So since we are born with this package. Carrying this package, we are born. From that moment, we continue to carry this package on our head, on our shoulders, and that is why the life is very heavy, isn't it? When we attain enlightenment, it is called enlighten. Laid down the burden. Enlightenment has two meanings. One is brighten. Second is light. No weight. When no weight, why? Because no suffering. Because suffering is the burden. We carry this burden all our life, and therefore we suffer. Then in between death and birth, sorrow, lamentation, pain, grief and despair are there. Okay? So that is called suffering. And when Sariputta and the Buddha said, not getting what one wants is suffering. Not getting anything we want creates mental anxiety, disappointment or whatever. Does that mean? It definitely means to get what we want is happiness. Not to get what one wants is suffering, and therefore to get what one wants is happiness, isn't it? No. No. Even to get what we want does not bring happiness. Why?
Because it's impermanent.
When we keep wanting. We keep wanting. There's no end to the wanting.
Yes, if we got what we want, on the other hand, what you said is true in one sense. What you said also is true in one sense. But there is another aspect of that truth. To get what we want is not going to bring us happiness. Why? We want to maintain what we got. You buy most expensive car, you have to buy insurance. You have to put gas. You have to put winter tires. You have to repair it. And every night you have to worry about if somebody comes and scratch it or steal or something. Isn't it? So that is even more headache. If you don't have, you can walk and not too much problem. But when you have it, you have to maintain it. This is no escape, this is sort of catch-22. No way out. Suffering.
I think you're missing a line, Bhante.
Huh?
There's no apyehi vipayogo dukkho. And what's the other one? Vipayogo vipayehi sampayogo dukkho. I don't see it.
Sampayoga dukkha. Apyehi sampayoga dukkha. Not pyehi. Pyehi vipayoga dukkha.
Yeah. I mixed it up a little bit.
Yeah. What he said is true, it is not here. I think we will come. To separate from loved ones is suffering. To unite with unloved ones also suffering. Just imagine you go to work in the office with somebody who is nagging, complaining, accusing, shouting, making all kind of irritable things. You hate this fellow, but what to do? You have to work. You go to office in the morning thinking, how can I work with this fellow? While driving, you cannot work. You had one who was wonderful, very friendly, cooperative, happy. You are almost like the best friend. The boss didn't like him, so he transferred him and put this fellow in that place. From that time onward, you have a headache. So, piyahi vipayogo dukkho. Piyahi means you have mother, father, brother, sister, husband, wife, children, some relatives, not father-in-law. Eh? I mean, in some sense she is relative, but you cannot get along with her. Others you consider to be living persons. Mother, there may be exceptions, but generally we love mother, father, brother, sisters, husband, wife, and children. These are the ones we love. Just imagine one of them dies, your heart breaks. And you sometimes even have to go to a therapist for certain periods. I know that. I have seen it. It is so hard to accept. Many days and months, you still think either he is sleeping in your bed, at night you might touch to see him, or her, not in the bed. Or you might think he may be sleeping in the next room. If your father or mother sleeping in the next room, he or she is dead for and gone. But your attachment is so much that you still think that she or he is in the next room, or in the house somewhere. So much pain we have when we lose a loved one. That is suffering. Friends These are very natural things. Buddha never said anything unnatural. These are the things that we encounter every single day in our life. And in addition to that, there are many other little things that cause us suffering. And finally Buddha summarized, and Venerable Sariputta repeated it here. In short, the 5 aggregates of clinging is suffering. Aggregates, what are the aggregates?
Form and feeling.
Huh?
Form, feeling, perception, mental formations, consciousness.
Yeah. Since the rain is coming down very heavily, I cannot hear, in addition to my old age. So you have to speak loudly. Okay. Form, this appearance form, it has a feelings, it has a perception, thoughts and consciousness. Each of them is called aggregate. As you know, in physics, chemistry, even mathematics, aggregates is collection of things. The form is a collection of things. No, form is not one thing. Collection of so many tiny cells, parts, to make this something apparent. Something apparent. Therefore it is called a form aggregate, aggregate of form. Feeling is not only one thing. There are many kinds of feelings. Pleasant, unpleasant, neutral, attached, connected to sensual pleasures, disconnected with sensual pleasures, and so forth. Perception. Perception of form, perception of sound, perception of smell, perception of taste, perception of touch, perception of mind object. 6 kinds of perception. They all together called aggregate of perception. Then thoughts. Thought arising from form, sound, smell, taste, touch, and imagination, fantasizing, memories, and so forth. Therefore, the thought collected together is called form aggregate. Consciousness is the most variable thing. Eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, mind consciousness, is all these consciousness put together is called aggregate of consciousness. Now, since and all these are called aggregates, but they are not just aggregate, but aggregate subject to clinging. When we cling to our body, we cling to our feelings, we cling to perception, we cling to our thoughts, we cling to our consciousness, we cling to all kind of things. And therefore this body, feeling, perception, thought and consciousness are called aggregates of clinging. Suffering arises from that. Therefore Buddha said, in short, the 5 aggregates of clinging is suffering. This is called suffering. The origin of suffering, Buddha said, the is, can you give one, anybody can give the answer? Origin of suffering?
Craving.
Don't say that, you know that.
That's why I never answer.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know all, but yeah.
Because he is teaching and he also knows it.
The origin of suffering,
Yeah.
craving,
Huh?
craving.
Right.
But the Pali.
Huh?
I don't know, probably.
Origin of suffering is called craving or tanha. Tanha is a very good Pali word. Good English word for tanha is thirst. It's a very good word. Why? When you are thirsty, you can tolerate your hunger. Tolerate your hunger for few days. You even can fast for a couple of days. But can you stay without drinking water? Even if you fast, you have to drink water. Because you are dehydrated. Dehydration is the cause of death. We can live about 28 days without food. Why? We have enough fat in the body. The body consumes this fat slowly, even if you don't eat anything. But water, there's no way to generate water in the body. It must come from outside. And therefore when you are thirsty, it is very, very painful. Craving is like the thirst. Tanha, tanha is exactly like thirst. You want to have it, you want. You cannot sleep. Without food you can sleep. When the thirst arises, you cannot sleep. When desire arises for something, you cannot sleep. It is so painful. Therefore, we have to do something about it. Therefore, that is the cause of suffering, the thirst. Here we use thirst as figuratively. The real thirst is desire, greed. Want something. Never say, okay, now enough, I don't want anything. Sit, meditate. I don't need anything. Can you say that? No. You have to send an email.
First text message.
Eh?
Or a text message.
Text message. Or very important telephone call. At least something you want to do. And you cannot say, no, I don't need any of these things. I am perfectly comfortable. I want to meditate. You cannot do that. And therefore thirst or craving is the cause of our suffering. Everything stems from that. So, and Buddha called it, the beautiful way Buddha explained it, craving which brings renewal of being is accompanied by delight and lust, and delights in this and that. Very beautiful. I think you all, since you are learning Pali now, try to memorize this Pali sentence. Try to memorize this Pali sentence. One sentence. Ya yang tanha pono bhavika nandi raga sahagata tatra tatrabi nandini. Beautiful Pali sentence. Ya yang tanha pono bhavika nandi raga sahagata tatra tatrabi nandini. When somebody was going to shopping mall, I reminded this. Remember this sentence. When you go to shopping mall, remember this. Ya yang tanna pono bhavika nandira sagata tatra tatra abhinandini. Your eye catches this and then go there. Eye catches that, you go there. Isn't it? When you go to shopping mall, because the marketing people are so smart, they know how to squeeze your greed, how to cap you, how to trap you. I mean, that's a very skillful way. That is the way the tanha, craving, works. You don't have any wish to get anything. You say, I just want to walk in the mall. But the marketing skill is so great, they know, no matter how great your determination is, they know how to tempt you. You just go there innocently to walk. Come home with a bundle of things. That is the nature of craving. Therefore, remember this mantra. Ya yang tanna pono bhavika nandi raga sagata tatra tatrabi nandini. So that is suffering. Delight here, delight there. You delight in here, and that delight wears out. Then the craving goes to another thing. Delight there. And there also delight wears out. It goes to another thing. That is the very nature of craving. Every time this craving arises, so that you have suffering. Because you cannot keep your mind in peace. Mind tells you, yes, that is something important. Not only 1, 2, 3 things with our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body and mind. With eyes we see the things that they display. With ear you hear the talks, songs, music and so on. Go to shopping mall, you cannot walk in certain area. That entire area is perfume. You don't need any perfume, but when you go there, they might have spread little bit, might have dropped few perfumes here and there, so that even a saint goes there, will think of buying some perfume. One day I received an envelope. When I opened the envelope, structure awful. The name of the perfume is called Nirvana.
Oh,
If you use that, you don't have to do anything. Directly you go to Nibbana. They are so good in advertising, not only to see in the product in the shopping mall, but even the noun they use for you to think. I have used such and such and such and such a perfume But I never used Nibbana. Probably if I use that, I will go to Nibbana without any trouble. You don't have to meditate, you don't have to give dharma, nothing. Use that perfume.
Sila Bhatta Paramasa.
Huh?
Sila Bhatta Paramasa.
Sila Bhatta Parama.
Isn't there in one of the suttas, someone says to the Buddha, "Oh, why do you use words to describe the Dhamma? In my realm, we just smell a smell and we attain Nirvana."
Yeah. I think Abhasara Devas, they are not the smell, I don't remember that. I have I know even a stanza and Buddha explained that there are divine beings who are so handsome, they are so radiant, so they just have joy, they don't have particular food, the joy is their food. So Susukang, there's a stanza, Susukang mata jivama Usukesu anusuka Piti bhakka bhavisama deva abhasrayata. We live happily without anxiety and enjoy life just like divine beings in Abhasara Brahmaloka, when one is full of joy all the time. That I remember, but this one I don't remember.
I'll see if I can find it.
Could you send it to me?
If I can find it.
Okay. So, that is craving for sensual pleasures. Craving also is categorized very simple way. Craving for sensual pleasures, craving for material things. That's called kama tanha, or material pleasure, sensual pleasure. Another craving is called bhavatanha, craving for becoming. That means continuous existence. And the other is craving for non-becoming, non-being. That also is a craving. For instance, I think we repeated that in the past, when one is so disappointed with life because of suffering, try this, try that, everything was failed. Then he disgust with the life and then wish, I never ever want to be born again. This is it. I never want to be a baby again and start everything all over. People say that. Oh, again. Oh boy, again. And finally you say, I don't want that. I don't want that also is a desire. I want this is a desire. I don't want that is a desire. You cannot escape. So, these are three types of desires. They are called kama-tanha, bhava-tanha, vibhava-tanha. Kama-tanha is thirst for sensual pleasure. Bhava-tanha is thirst for repeated existence. Vibhava-tanha is thirst for non-existence. Then cessation is very easy to understand. if the cause of suffering is thirst, end of suffering must be the end of thirst. Very simple, very logical. But this ending doesn't happen automatically. Neither suffering arises automatically. But ending has a way. That way is called Noble Eightfold Path. So the Buddha's teaching is known by that term. Buddha's teaching is known by Noble Eightfold Path. It is called Middle Path. In many writers, intellectual people, even in encyclopedia you can see, Buddha taught the middle path. Taught the middle path. Even that sentence is perfectly correct, because in the word middle path, everything is there. Even the Four Noble Truths is in the middle path. That is what we are discussing here. The first one is right understanding. Understanding Four Noble Truths is right understanding. And therefore to say Buddha's teaching is the middle path is perfectly correct. And that is the path we have to follow in order to bring the suffering to an end. So whenever Sariputta said that. Now let us go through the Pali. We have only 10 minutes for Pali. First sentence, first paragraph, I have not translated that because we repeated it last 2 times. Sādhāvu soti kote bhikkhu āsmato sāriputtasya bhāstam abhinanditva anumoditva āsmantam sāriputtam uttaring paññam āpucchum siyāpanāvuso aññopi pariyāyo yatā ariyasāvuko SammaDitthi hoti ujugatassa ditti dhamme avecca pasadena samannāgato agato imam saddhammanti. This paragraph we have explained earlier. That is why I did not translate. If you want to see the Pali in this, you go to that. So we go to the next side. Siya also. There you can see Siya also. Yato ko auso arisavako dukkhancha pajanati. Yato means when. When. Siya means yes. Is. Also friends. Arya Savako, noble disciple. When you hear the word disciple in this or throughout this discourse, Sariputta refers to Buddha's disciple. In order to qualify it or clarify it more clearly, he used the word noble disciple, Arya Savaka. The word Arya Savaka always used only to the Buddha's own disciples. Because they are the ones who love the truth. That is called noble. Noble truth, noble disciples, and noble Dhamma. Because there is no anything that is not true, is not the Buddha's teaching. So we have to remember that. So, Arya Savako. Dukkhancha pajanati means understand. Dukkham, suffering. Cha means also. Dukkha samudaya. Samudaya means origin, arising. Although translated into English as origin, the word arising is also a very good word. Sun udaya, for instance, when sun rises, in the verb of it, when for sunrise is or suryo udayati. Udaya means in spoken language like English, uday means morning. Why? Sun rises. The time that sun rises is called udaya, in spoken English, right? So in Pali, udaya means rising. Samudaya means rising along with so many other things together. Pajanati, understand. Dukkha nirodha. Nirodha means cessation. Pajanati, understanding. Gamini, the next line you can see dukkha nirodha gamini. Gamini means going. Gamini. It's very much like English word. The root is gamu. Gamu, gamane. Gamu means to go. Just like in English. The root gamu is to go. Gamini means going. Going. Patipada, the method, the way. Pajanati, understand. Then, Khatamancha also, okay. Khatamang is what? Khatang is what? King is what? Khatamang is 3 words. King is word, Khatang is word, Khatamang is also word. All these 3 words means what? What? Pana is indeclinable. Pana also, pana also, you can see in Pali. Pana also, I broke. Whatever you can see within parentheses, I separated. Otherwise, the word is pana. Also, 2 words. In the book, you can see pana also. 2 words joined together. Pana also is pana also. To make pronunciation easy, these 2 words are joined together and make one compound noun. But in reality, it should be not one noun. Pana is indeclinable, sort of a preposition. In this case, also means friend.
Bhante,
Yeah.
is that common? So, because I think we saw that last week too with some words. But so I'm just wondering, is that a general rule when there are 2 nouns with one ending in a vowel and the other begins with the same vowel to drop one and make it one word?
Exactly. In some places, when one word ends with A and other word begins with A, now there are 2 A's together. They cannot live together. They fight. So one either has to leave or joins with the other one. When it joins with the other one, it becomes ah.
With a line over it?
Long A.
With the line or no line?
Long A.
So line.
Yeah. In some places, A is dropped. Gata, in always not with the word beginning with ab, but word beginning with another vowel. For example, like gata plus iddi. Gata iddi. A drops and then it remains gatiddi. Gatiddi. It can never be anything else when they join.
Bhante, I have a question on that regard. When we chant in the morning, for the lifetime precepts, it's ajiva tamaka, but I hear you say ajiva atamaka. Are we supposed to do both A's or just say the long A?
In this case, we have to leave both, use the both.
Oh.
Ajiva attamaka silang.
Even though in writing it has just the long A.
Yeah, ajiva attamaka also correct,
Okay.
but we use ajiva attamaka separately. But it is not incorrect to join two A's there. Ajiva attamaka is correct.
So does that mean so? Basically, there's no way. I'm just recognizing that means that everything I thought I knew about Pali is wrong, because a lot of words that I thought were words are actually compound words that are two different words together. But there's no way of knowing that unless you actually know the root word.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. When you know the meaning of words or the compound noun, then you know this not one noun. This is a compound noun. If you know the meaning.
But in the definition for dukkha, it's soka parideva dukkha doma nasa upayasa, and that's all one. It's all different words, but you say it all as one huge compound word like that.
That is very true. Therefore, that in that compound noun, case ending is at the end.
All the way at the end.
At the
I
end.
didn't know that.
Dukkha domanassa upayasa sambhavanti. Dukkha domanassa upayasa is the plural of this whole noun. Case ending is at the upayasa. Otherwise we can be dukkha, domanassa, upayasa, there's a dukkha, emeta kevala dukkha, dukkha, domanassa, upayasa.
That doesn't flow very well compared to the other one.
Yeah, if you break them, it lose the taste. You make it tasty when all join together and say case ending at the end. So suffering, what is the origin of suffering? Okay? Cessation is Nirodha. Then we have already explained all these things in some details, okay? Jati means birth. P, jati P is another indeclinable use for also. We have used the cha as also, and P also. You know, crammed your legs. Okay, dukkha. Jara is explained in Mahasatipatthana. It's a long explanation. Jara, Jirnata, Khandichang, Palichang, Valitthachata. So several words are used to explain Jara. Remember? Jara, Jiranata, nature of decaying. Khandichang, broken teeth. Palichang, grey hair. Vali Thachata, wrinkled skin. Khandichang, Palichang, Vali Thachata is Jara. In the word, under the word Jara, all these are there. Decaying, our skin is decaying and peeling off every day. We all know that. If there is no carpet, nothing in the room, after a few months you can see along the wall some kind of dust. If you analyze that dust, they are nothing but the skin, dry skin of the body. So much dry skin we have left in the room. That is called Giranata. Khandichang, I think for English people it is easy to understand. Kadicha, isn't it? Khandichang, Kadicha, meaning broken. Palichang, Pahicha, isn't it?
Yeah, now I understand.
You didn't know that Pali.
No, I didn't.
You see, it is very easy for Sinhalese people to understand Pali. Once, if they listen to it only once, they know, because that is the spoken word. Khandichang, Palichang, Valit Thachata. Velunu Hama. Vali Velunu. Valit Thachata. Meaning wrinkled skin. All this come under decay, old age, aging, jara, dukkha, vyadi. Vyadi means sickness. Needless to say, sickness is dukkha. You all understand it. Then, these are the words for sorrow. Sorrow, soka. Pali word soka, sorrow. Then, parideva, lamentation. Dukkha, pain. So the word dukkha is used for suffering as well as for pain. Domanasa, grief. Upayasa means despair. Then here it goes. Young, whatever, pi, ichang. Now, since pi ends with I, next word begins with I. One I is dropped and called yam pichang. Yam pi, ichang becomes yam pichang. Yam pi, ichang means wants, or desire. No, labhati, obtain. Tang, that, pi, also dukkham, suffering. In order to see it very clearly, I broke them in this way. Sankitta, Sankitta, Sangyutta. Sankitta means short, Sangyutta means collected. Collected. Collected or connected.
Sang usually means like coming together, right?
Yeah.
It means it's
Yeah. The Nikaya is called Sangyutta Nikaya because that is a very wonderful book because everything is systematically categorized. Khanda Sangyutta, Ayatana Sangyutta, Dhatu Sangyutta, Ujjanga Sangyutta, Iddipada Sangyutta and so forth. Everything belonging to that particular section is in that section.
So that's why Samma is right, because it's like things come together.
Samma is,
Or Sam.
yeah. Okay.
I don't think it's the same.
It's not the same.
I
Okay.
don't think so.
So, now you all have a discussion?
Now,
No? Besides this, what he has, some
I
online.
was just asking if the Samyutta root, but it's not. I guess one is SAN and one is SAN
Ah,
for like SammaDitthi, but that's Sam and Sam.
and then Samma is one word. Sang Yutta means two words.
Okay. So that's
So-
SAN.
You see, when we use sang with another word and combine together, in that place we use M with the dot at the bottom. In Roman, in what you call, in International Pali, written in Roman characters. When we use sang with another word, no more M.
So like Sun Kitten.
Yeah. Sang. Then we use M with dot at the bottom. Like Sankappa.
Oh.
Some people use N and put dot at the bottom. Some people use M with dot at the bottom.
So they're interchangeable, the
Yeah.
N and the M,
M,
with a dot.
yeah. The Sankappa is used N at the bottom. No. Sang, no, at the bottom is no. At the top.
At the
At the
top.
top.
Oh, so N with a dot at the top or M with a dot at the bottom?
If you put dot at the bottom of M, that also is pronounced as but I think standard international way is putting the dot on the top of N.
On the top of N, okay. But there's similar pronunciation.
I have put the dot on the top
Yeah.
because this is what we find in Pali text society, which standardized written Pali in Roman characters. Sankita. Okay. Pancha. What is Pancha? 5. Pancha Kona. Pancha Kona. Pancha Kona. Pentagon. Pentagon. Isn't it? Pentagon has 5 corners, right? Not hexagon or octagon. It is pentagon. The Pali word is Panchakona. So Pancha means 5. Upadana is a very, very good word. We have to pronounce Pali correctly. If you say Upadana, that is giving. Giving. Upadana. Yeah. Upadana. Giving. If you say Upadana, clinging. Just the opposite of giving. Giving is Upadana. Holding greedily, very stingily, clinging to something is called Upadana. See, very slight difference makes a whole lot of different sense. And therefore we have to pronounce these words correctly. I have heard many people who of course don't know the Pali. They say Upadana. Upadana. As you know, when I pronounce English, you catch immediately my mispronunciation. Because it is your mother tongue. Similarly, Pali is like my mother tongue. Whenever somebody makes mispronunciation of any Pali word, I know. Khanda, Upadana. Now, Upadana plus Khanda make Upadanak Khanda. We add one more K. Otherwise, saying Upadana Khanda is something we hear odd. To make it a smooth pronunciation, add another K and make it Upadanak Khanda. Khanda, very close to Sinhalese word. Khanda is Khadu. In Sinhalese, Khadu means heap. Heap, Khanda. A mountain. For mountain in Sinhalese they say Khanda. Khanda Naginoa. Climb the mountain. In Pali, Khanda. Make it emphasize the K. If you say simple K, it means something different. So you have to make it emphasize the K. As you know, K has 2. Ka, gha. G has 2. Ga, gha. Cha has 2. Cha, cha. T has 2. T, ta, ta. D has 2. D, da, da, da. P has 2. Pa, pa. For instance, some pap, palapa, emphasized. Like that, Khanda is mountain. What kind of mountain is it? Dukkha Khanda. Mountain of suffering. It's a beautiful word. Suffering is not flat. It is a mountain.
So upadana is the same as tanaha?
Upadana is extension of tanha. Tanha is a good term, good question. Tanha is thirst. Upadana is much, much stronger than that. You have a tanha craving, upadana is grabbing, holding. That is why suffering is there. Why? Mind tries to hold, but you cannot hold. Can you? You cannot hold on to anything. Why? You know why?
Impermanent.
Huh?
It's impermanent.
Impermanent. Because when you try to hold, it is already gone. It camouflaged, disguised. So when you try to hold, it's not there. But agony is in the mind for not being able to hold. You try to hold, it's gone, then you are frustrated. Mind gets frustration when mind cannot hold on to anything. But thirst, desire, tells, go, get it, get it, get it, get it, get it. But when you reach, you go. That is why we have this perpetual suffering. Because as he said, impermanence is so well established, it is the root of Dhamma, root of truth, universal. Nobody created impermanence. Impermanence is impermanence. The whole universe works on the principle of impermanence. You just think, the whole universe operates on the principle of impermanence. If the sun rises for some magic this morning and never rises beyond that, remains in the horizon day and night and day and night and day and night, see how agonizing it is? It must rise and then set. If it is set and never comes back again, how much suffering we have? Nothing can exist. Nothing. So it must continue. If the earth doesn't evolve around itself, we have no day, no night. If it doesn't go around the sun, we will be 2018 August 11 all the time. No 2000, no 11, no 18, nothing. Stuck. If things don't change, we wouldn't have been like this. When we were born, we were a tiny little piece of meat. Isn't it? Our mothers, thanks to our mothers, they kill themselves to bring us up. I don't have to tell the amount of pain and suffering that mother goes through to bring their children up. Mothers know that. And that is because changing. So many things. You take physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, any science, all proves things are impermanent. No science can, this is the most scientifically advanced period in human history. In this period, 21st century, with all this modern science, technology, you ask any super expert to show us something permanent, they say, I'm sorry, maybe next century. Comes next century, the same thing. So, what he said is very true. It is because of this law of impermanence, the truth of impermanence, this established Dhamma, suffering exists. Okay, Khanda. Idang uchyate also dukkham. Idang means this, uchyati calls. Also, friends, dukkha and suffering. Then dukkha, samudayo, we mentioned it earlier. Okay, this is the sentence you got to remember. Yayang tanna porno bhavika nandiraga sagata tatra tatravi nandini. Remember that sentence. Repeat it many times. Remember that sentence when you go to shopping mall. Eh?
Or on the, said or on the internet. Or on the internet.
Or in the internet.
When you're on the internet.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. These days shopping, your perception is very good. Shopping mall is a very tiny little thing compared to internet. Go to Amazon, go to Google, go to YouTube. The entire day, without sleeping, eating, drinking, you can watch. So many new things, enticing, encouraging, tempting things are there. And this principle operates there. Yayang tanna porno bhavika nandiraga sagata tatra tatra vinandiri. Our craving is, it brings renewal of being accompanied by delight and lust. We delight this here and we delight that there. We delight in this and we like this, we like that, and so forth and so on, entire day and night. Delights in this and that. Next sentence. Tatra, tatra abhinandini. Tatra means that, or this. For both, what we should say in English, here and there. When you say here and there, it sounds like sometimes, occasionally. But what it means, here means close, there means far away. But for both, in this case, use the word tatra, tatra. Here, 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 here. Abhinandini, delight. So it forces, desire forces the mind to delight in this, delight in that, and delight in this, delight in that. Okay? So, the categories are Seyatidam. Seyatidam we divide into two. I forgot to do that. Seyata idam. Seyata as this, idam. So it is odd in English, so you have to say, for example. Seyatidam means for example. Or such as. Kama tanna, two words. Kama is one word, tanna is another word. Joined together made one compound noun. Kama, kamati. Craving, tanna. Kama is pleasure, tanna is craving, kama tanna. Bhava is becoming or being, tanna craving. Vi, bhava, vi is preposition change the meaning of tanna, bhava. The opposite of it, non-being. Bhava is being, vi, bhava means non-being.
Why is it a V instead of an A? Because normally we see like kusala, A kusala, or some, I don't know, raga.
Good question. You know, if A is used, it would be abhava. Abhava. Abhava means something going out of existence.
Oh, like ending existence? Ending existence?
Non-existence.
Non-existence.
Going out of existence.
Ceasing to exist.
Yeah. If you say abhava.
Ah.
Abhava means not existing. Vibhava means not becoming. Vibhava also is used for property. Vibhava is used for property. Okay. Then ayang uchyati also dukkha samudayo. Ayang, this, uchyati is called also, friends, dukkha samudaya. Samudaya origin. Dukkha is suffering. Dukkha nirodho, you can see that tassa eva, tassaya eva, tassayeva. Tassaya of that, eva indeed, or definitely, tanha craving. Asesa completely, sesa means remainder. Sesa means remainderless. Vi raga, raga means clinging, vi raga means not clinging. But here vi raga means, actually the word raga is paint, color, color. When we paint something, we use certain colors, blue, yellow, red, and so forth, color, raga. Viraga means that color fading away. I think the word is very good. That original color we use the word color for in a figurative sense, isn't it?
That's true.
It is a very colorful talk. Colorful idea. And as you use it, that color slowly fades away. Similarly, raga, craving, raga is compared to color, becomes discolor. Viraga.
You use that for aging, like the hair color is...
Right. That kind of color. Viraga, fading away. So, in other words, craving slowly fades away through the practice of the Noble Eightfold Path, which has right effort, right mindfulness, right concentration. When these three combine together with other 5 factors, as we practice them very diligently, consistently, with honesty, then this craving, color of craving, that means the strength of craving, slowly fades away. That is the meaning. Viraga.
Does that mean that a raga would be colorless?
Huh?
A raga would be colorless, without color?
No.
No.
A raga,
Because before with bhava, abhava was not existing. So araga would not be no color?
unfortunately, Margaret, I have not seen araga. Perhaps we can use it, but most of the time I have seen viraga.
Okay. I'm just wondering if that's like a rule with A and V.
One thing, A doesn't give the same meaning everywhere. For vidya you can use. Vidya is knowledge. Avidya means ignorance. There you cannot say vidya, vividya. Like here we use vi to negate the meaning of the other. But in the place of avidya you cannot use vi. We have to use a. Therefore this indeclinable, which are called Pali nipata, they use according to the context, according to the place, the sentence, and so forth.
Okay. So very difficult to learn. You have to learn case by case.
Yeah. Okay, viraga. Nirodha is cessation. Chaga is giving. Chaga. We say in Sanskrit tyaga, in Sinhala is tag, Pali chaga, giving away. Pati nissagga, relinquishing. Nissagga also is enough. Nissagga means letting go. Patinissagga is stronger than nissagga. That is why patinissagga is used. Mukti, liberation. Mukti. In Sanskrit, mukti. Pali mukti.
Bhante,
Yeah.
is there a dot below the T in Pati Nisaga?
Pati
Or is
nisagale.
it just a flaw in the printing?
Pati T dot at the bottom of T.
Dot at the bottom of T?
Right.
Okay. What's the difference in the sound between the T with no dot and the T with a dot?
Right. This belongs to two groups of letters.
Okay.
Without dot, it is th. Th.
Okay.
With dot, th. This is dental, other is palatal. Palatal with dot, th. You turn the tongue, touch the tip of the tongue, the upper palate. Th. Other one is touch the teeth with the tongue. Th. Without dot, th. With dot, th. They are called dental and murdhaja. Anyway, I think you can stop here. It is almost
I
getting.
have one question, Bhante.
Yeah.
The next word is analayo.
Yeah.
There's a famous writer, Buddhist,
Our friend,
Analayo.
Analayo. Not Analayo, Analayo. Analayo. Analayo is no ala, no attachment, no craving. Another name for Nibbana, Analaya. No craving. Yeah. Analayo, if you say Analayo, as I said earlier, whenever we mispronounce Pali, just like English, any language, meaning is totally different. Analayo means heartless, no heart. Laya means heart. Analayo means no heart, very cruel. Analayo is no attachment. See the very big difference. I think I stop here. I'm very tired now.
Thank you.
Since I came from New York, my lot of mucus problems and so forth stand up.
But they just take this moment and say, Krishna is here.
What?
Krishna.
Krishnaj.
Huh?
Krishnaj.
Krishna.
Yeah, my name.
Krishna.
Krishna.
N-A-J.
J at the end.
Krishna.
Krishnad.
Correct.
And so he's in room 2 because it was raining and he's here one night. So instead of putting him in a kuti, it's better for him to be in room. Or no, room 4. He's in room 4.
You're going to stay here for a few days?
Just tonight I'm leaving tomorrow.
You came so for such a short time?
Yes, I came from Baltimore, so it's not very far, so I drove down. And I have to go back to work on Monday, but I wanted to visit, so.
Oh, I thought you lost your way and found this place and
No, I have been planning to come for a retreat for a long time, but somehow it's not happening, so I said, even if it's for one day, let me just go and come back.
Bhante, I have a question. So you were talking about the thirst, like we always had a drink. So during the 6 years of, Buddha went through the 6 years. During that, I guess he took water or?
Yes, he was so persistent in his practice that he drank very little water.
Oh, from leaves or something like that, right?
He just to wet his throat, he would drink a drop or 2 drops of water at a time. And all these details you can see in Maha Sihanada Sutta in Majjhima Nikaya.
Well, you talk about hibernation, but I guess animals, they don't drink either, right?
But they eat leaves. Leaves have water. Carnivorous eat meat with blood, that is water. Even after eating meat and so forth, they go for water. All animals, even those herbivorous animals, eating all day long grass, leaves and nuts and so forth, which has moisture, juice, and still they need some additional water to keep up their health.
Right.
Keep
but
up with
when
them.
during the winter, they don't drink, right? When they hibernate. Do they?
During winter,
Like when they hibernate.
Bears.
hibernated,
Bears, yeah.
But it's not warm. It's not warm, so they don't lose water.
they don't lose water. Also, the ice under which they live gives enough moisture. I think the body temperature is very low, and very tiny little bit of ice melts, and that they inhale, that gives them moisture. As he said, when the body is very slow, metabolism is so slow, they don't lose much water. For instance, when you go to sleep, at night you don't drink much water, but daytime you feel drinking water because daytime you are active. When you are in sleep, body slows down its activities.
Go ahead. No, you go here. Mine's not related to this. Is yours related? No. Okay. Bhante, other than the undertaking the training not to kill living beings, where does Buddha also talk about not eating meat?
Not eating
Meat.
meat.
I know it's underneath the precept of undertaking the training not to kill living beings, but
There is no any particular precept set by the Buddha for not eating meat.
right.
Uh,
But does it go under not killing?
yeah, but he has given rules that one should avoid certain meat, certain type of meat, avoid. That is, if, particularly for monks, if he knows that animal was killed for him, he should not eat. If he even indirectly encourage somebody to kill, he should not eat that meat. If he suspect the animal was killed for him, he should not eat. Neither saw, no heard, no suspect that the animal was killed for him. He should not eat. When he goes round with the alms bowl, if somebody puts meat into the alms bowl, he does not want to demand people saying that I need this kind of food, I don't eat that kind and so forth. He quietly, mindfully, perhaps he even does not know what they put into the alms bowl. When he comes back, he finds meat or fish. For some health reason or so forth, if he does not eat meat, he can put it aside and eat the rest.
But if he doesn't have a health reason, is he supposed to eat the meat because it was given?
Yeah, if it doesn't hurt his health, he can eat it. Yeah. You?
I have a question about, we're born, currently we're human beings, and we're born from our mothers, and then when we are infants, we have to have, our mother's care. Otherwise we don't develop properly. So we go through that, then we're attached to our mother's attached to us, and then our father and our siblings, and then we have this family unit and on and on. So, and you see the same thing in animals to a degree, they have their families. So is there a realm where we can just not worry about that?
Karen? Huh?
I said she's trying to get rid of Upal, but I'm just kidding.
That's not going to be easy.
Don't do that very quickly. I think, Karen, none of these things can you do without a deep awareness, understanding, and knowing all the nitty-gritty things from your own experience. Only when you completely understand things, you can start. Without understanding, you cannot jump into anything. Everything must be based on understanding. That is why in the Noble Eightfold Path, number one is understanding. That also doesn't come very quickly. That is called Anupubba Sikha, Anupubba Patipada, Anupubba Kiriya. Anupu means gradual. Some people train themselves in samsara in many, many, many previous lives. So for them it is very easy. Some people who have not practiced this or trained themselves and developed this mentality, it's fine, it's very difficult. They don't try to kill themselves to jump into this. But they have to live their lay life with lay activities. Buddha has given many, many discourses for lay people. How to live a lay life. Relationship between husband and wife, parents and children, brothers and sisters, sisters and sisters, brothers and brothers, teachers and students, the rulers and their subjects, and so forth. Here he has covered every aspect of lay life and points out their duties and responsibilities towards each other. So parents' responsibility based on love. Parents don't have any obligation to children. No obligation. But they have love for children. So every act is motivated by love. Without that, children can never grow. And that is extremely important, and Buddha has given special discourses on that, how parents take care of children. You know, the other day a couple came, woman is pregnant, and they want to hear something what Buddha says about pregnancy. Although Buddha talked about renunciation, attaining enlightenment, Buddha also talked about the pregnancy. There is a special ceremony. It's called ceremony. It is called ceremony. It's called Gabba Parikara. Gabba means gabba, the pregnancy.
Yes.
Parikar means the preliminaries. When the mother knows that she is conceived for a baby, from that point onward, there are certain things to do. Mother must be very gentle, kind, don't lose temper, don't eat wrong food, don't drink wrong things, don't say wrong things, and so forth and so on. Mother must behave in that way. Husband, on the other hand, also must not make her irritated, he must not make her upset, he must not make her angry, he must not make her feel insecure, and he must provide her with whatever she wants during that time. Even before that he must provide these things, but particularly when she is pregnant, husband must provide everything to make her comfortable. Why? All these things affect the baby. When the mother is upset, you can see 9 months in that upset womb, that baby grows. What kind of mentality the baby has? And therefore, if we expect a very healthy, physically, mentally healthy baby, both husband and wife must take care of each other, especially husband must take care of wife, and wife also must take care of her. If she takes medicine, you know that these days you read the label during pregnancy. If the mother is smoker, during pregnancy she must stop smoking. If the mother is drinker, alcoholic, must stop drink alcohol. If mother takes drugs, illicit drugs, she must stop immediately. And if she does something to upset her always, she must immediately stop it. So she must meditate to calm herself. Husband must meditate to calm him. Then both meditate together to calm. These are the things to do. Buddha mentioned it. All this together called parikara, perahara. In Sinhalese, perahara. In Sinhalese you call gap perahara. Pali gabba parikara. So, he did not ask the woman to abort the baby, to attain Nibbana. He advised the woman to take once conceived, that unicellular being. You hardly can see with your eyes. Is alive. Protect it. By all means protect. And make that baby the healthiest, most peaceful, intelligent, healthy baby. Yep.
So Bhante, is that love that you talk about, mother to child and all that? You couldn't call that attachment then.
That is attachment, 100% attachment, no question about it. But for the survival of the baby, that attachment is important. Attachment is absolutely necessary for living. Attachment is absolutely necessary for living. And that very same attachment brings suffering. So, you have to develop understanding in the first place, understanding every tiny aspect of our life we must understand. And then, as we spiritually mature, we find a way out very slowly. You cannot do anything at once. All must come from understanding. If there is this much that you have not understood, try to understand that much, that part, before you make a decision.
So Bhante, if you aren't married, if you're not in a relationship and you are on the path, the best way to avoid suffering is to be alone, right?
That's correct. That's
Stay
correct.
alone. Yeah. With friends and spiritual friends, but
If somebody is not married and does not want to marry, doesn't have any plan, that alone is not enough.
no,
Then the person has to learn them and see the path and follow that. Okay, friends, that is enough.